The Galactic Council chamber was never silent. 1,000 worlds had voices, and all of them sought to be heard. The circular amphitheater was a chaos of alien tongues, their layered sounds bouncing off the polished blackstone walls. Holograms flared above each delegate's seat, sigils of empires, fractal banners, shifting crests that represented dominions stretching across the spiral arms. But this morning, silence struck them like a hammer. The silence came when the image appeared on the central dais. A single ship. No escort. No identification code. No registry. And yet, the image on the holo was not of any ship they had seen before. It was vast, far larger than the warcruisers of the Garul Dominion, bulkier than the planetary bastions of the Vedran clans, more heavily armored than the slow but indestructible fortress ships of the Tynan hegemony. Its surface was black, veined with lines of glowing crimson energy that pulsed like veins carrying blood through steel. It hung in the void as if gravity itself bent around it. A Titan-class warship. Except no such classification existed. None had ever been recorded. The council delegates had no name for it, until the transmission attached to the image arrived, carried by a trembling courier ship that had survived the encounter by pure chance. One word only. Humanity. The word echoed through the council chamber, whispered in confusion, disbelief, even amusement. Humanity? Impossible. They are extinct. A myth at best, stories to frighten children. Perhaps a translation error. It must mean something else. Yet the holo feed was undeniable. A ship unlike any they had catalogued, larger than any known vessel, bristling with weapon signatures that none could decipher. The council's archivists confirmed the data, weapon readings so immense they bordered on planetary killer levels. Energy output that defied physics. A hull that registered not as alloy, but as something unknown, something alive. And the crew? The courier reported a single human voice speaking through comms. Calm. Controlled. Do not approach. We are not here for war. But we remember what you did. That was all. And the council froze. For millennia, the Galactic Council had ruled unchallenged. Empires rose and fell within it. But the council itself remained eternal, a spine of law and order binding species together. They knew of every power in the galaxy, mapped every star system, catalogued every race. Yet humanity was supposed to be gone. According to the archives, they had burned themselves out in wars long before the council rose. They were a cautionary tale, a primitive species of predators who climbed too quickly and destroyed themselves in fire. But the Titan-class warship orbiting the quiet star in Sector Theta 9 said otherwise. And the council began to fear. Admiral Kale of the Vedran clans leaned forward in his pod, his scaled hands tightening on the edge. His voice was a growl that cut through the chamber. This is a trick. No species vanishes for 10,000 years only to return with such a weapon. Someone builds this and uses the old name of humanity to strike fear. But his words betrayed unease. His crest feathers twitched nervously, betraying what his warrior's pride tried to conceal. Chancellor Miras of the Tynan hegemony, her massive insectoid body glistening with golden carapace, rasped in reply. I have studied the old myths. The word human appears in a dozen species' histories. Always as predators. Always as destroyers. The stories say they fought wars that shattered moons. That they burned entire atmospheres to deny enemies life. What if her mandibles clicked? What if they were not myths? The chamber erupted again. Some laughed, dismissing humanity as fables. Others whispered in hushed tones, remembering childhood tales of monsters that wore soft flesh but fought like demons. Then the holo shifted. New feed. The Titan-class warship moving. No, not moving, warping. Without a gate. Without a corridor. It simply vanished and reappeared light years away, ignoring every known law of physics. Delegates gasped. This was no trick. It was real. Out in the void, aboard the Titan-class warship Erebus, Captain Elias Ward stood on the command deck, hands clasped behind his back. The ship hummed around him, alive in ways no alien sensor could ever understand. The Erebus was not built in shipyards. It was grown, forged from nanosteel, bonded with self-replicating cores, armed with weapons humanity had hidden for eons. It was one of 12 Titan-class warships, the Black Fleet, and it had awoken. Ward gazed at the stars, expression calm. His crew, silent humans in dark uniforms, moved with disciplined precision. They had trained for this day. Council's watching, his first officer murmured. Good, Ward replied. His voice carried the weight of centuries. Let them remember us. He tapped the console, bringing up ancient files. Records of council fleets encircling so long ago. The final war that wiped humanity from the records. Except it hadn't. Humanity had not died. They had gone dark. Hidden. Built in silence. Prepared. And now, when the council least expected it, humanity had returned, not begging for inclusion, not asking for peace, but reminding the galaxy. Back in the chamber, the panic was rising. They cannot be allowed to roam free. That ship alone could destroy worlds. Look at the readings. If humanity truly survived, then everything we know changes. Their minds, their resilience, their cruelty. It was Chancellor Varys of the Car Dominion who finally dared to speak what many feared. If humanity has returned, then the balance of power shatters. No empire survives this. Not yours. Not mine. Not even the council. The chamber grew cold. Because deep down, they all knew the truth. The myths had always ended the same way. Wherever humanity went, others fell. Not because they sought conquest, but because no one could match them when forced to war. Predators among prey. Monsters in flesh. Unyielding. Unstoppable. And now, their warship hung above the stars like a shadow of judgment. On board Erebus, Captain Ward received the Council's first official transmission. The alien voices overlapped, distorted by translation algorithms, but the meaning was clear. Human vessel. Identify yourself. State your purpose. Explain your technology. Ward let the silence hang. Then he spoke. Calm. Cold. My name is Elias Ward, captain of the Titan-class warship Erebus. We are humanity. You tried to erase us. You failed. He leaned forward, his voice sharpening. We are not here for war, but we are not here to kneel. Watch us, study us, fear us if you must. But remember this. Humanity remembers everything you did. The transmission cut. No threats. No demands. Just a reminder. And somehow, that was worse than war. Because the Council now understood. If one Titan-class warship existed, there were more. And if humanity had survived in silence this long, what else had they built? The chamber sat frozen. For the first time in centuries, the Council of 1,000 species had no answer. The galaxy was no longer theirs alone. Humanity had returned. And nothing would ever be the same.